Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football, a bit of Friday night breaking news from Fabrizio Romano. It's breaking that Arne Slot will be the new Liverpool head coach, replacing Jurgen Klopp at the end of the season. Agreement sealed on compensation between Feyenoord and Liverpool. All set. Also on contract details for Slot as well. So get your comments in below. What are your thoughts on this? Liverpool fans, non-Liverpool fans? Look, I'm seeing people out there saying they've basically ordered Ten Hag from Wish. Look, my first analysis of that is that, yeah, we can go down that road if you want to, but why? Why? We're better than this. In general football, we're fighting an ever-increasing problem about a Premier League that's gone stale and officiating that is destroying the game. Rivalries are great, but I feel that they are low-hanging fruit compared to the major issues in football at the moment. So I wouldn't waste any time on that. Look, I think there are similarities. I think Slot's done a very good job in the Eredivisie, similarly to Erik Ten Hag, but that's where it ends. I mean, what Slot does at Liverpool is not comparable to what Ten Hag does at Manchester United. They are two very different people who have their own philosophies. But also, Slot's walking into Liverpool, a team that nearly won the league with a very, very good squad, and a Liverpool side that has probably gone through its best, well, has factually gone through its best ever era in Premier League football. Klopp is leaving it in a very, very good position. In fact, I think Klopp is leaving that football club too soon. Like, that team's not ready to win the Premier League. I think he was building a team, and for whatever reason, he wants to leave. So Slot is going to take over a team. In fact, he's going to slot in nicely to a team that has real potential to grow and grow. Ten Hag took over the worst ever Premier League Manchester United side in history. So the similarities end there. If Liverpool and Man United fans want to get into an argument about who's better, Ten Hag or Slot, get yourself into kindergarten, I'll get you a rattle. It's just irrelevant. It's absolutely irrelevant. We're better than that. We're absolutely better than that. What we're going to start arguing about next, you know, who's got the best haircut, it's a joke. It's irrelevant. We're so much better than this. This is the sort of bullshit that kept fan opinion down below the mainstream for a long time. You know, you look at this week at that Forest tweet and the amount of fans that agree with it because they're fed up with the officiating and all the ex-players backing it. We're winning the arguments at the moment. We're winning the moral high ground because we've got a depth to our opinion. Let's not go back down to the gutter arguing about who's better, Slot or Ten Hag. Liverpool and Man United are big rivals, but there's big differences in the two. I think the more important thing here is that Jurgen Klopp is an absolutely amazing manager. I don't say it begrudgingly. As a Man United fan, I respect him. I think what he's done at Liverpool, I never thought anybody could do. He's rebuilt an empire. He's got an aura about him. He has a dominance over that team, that football club, and the media. And those shoes are massive to fill. And I think that's the biggest problem here. It's not about whether he's a good coach or whether he's better than Ange or Ten Hag or Arteta. How can you say that? He's managed Feyenoord in the Eredivisie. You won't know the answer to that question for years. Why bother wasting your time now? It's like when you're in the playground, my dad's harder than your dad, which is always quite a sinister statement when you think about it, but actually it was about toughness. But the point is, when it comes to Slot, anybody replacing Jurgen Klopp has a huge job. Not only have you got to get those players to trust you, that fan base to trust you, and it's a huge club, you've also got a media that can be very oppressive. And Jurgen Klopp handled it perfectly because he had the personality. Does Slot have that? We've seen plenty of coaches in the past that are very good coaches, but they don't really like the media, not really comfortable with that. But they're a good coach, but they'll get swallowed up by the media. In the modern day, a manager has to be like Klopp, and it's all consuming. And we've seen how stressful it's been for Klopp. You've got to control the media, you've got to control the club, you've got to control the players, and you've got to be successful. And that's a huge step up for anybody. Now, I think we all knew that the club, Liverpool, wanted Alonso, and I think that was their preference. But as soon as that's off the table, this isn't the best manager market in the world. You're never going to go anywhere near De Zerbi. I mean, that would have been a massive mistake. You've got to pay Brighton a lot of money, and he has displayed arrogance and stubbornness that doesn't fit a big club. So Liverpool were right to steer clear of that. You're not going to go for Thomas Tuchel, who's been sacked by PSG, Bayern and Chelsea, and is a bit of a control freak in relation to his, need to control the football club. I don't think that was a good fit. Far from it. And then you're like Amorim, Sporting Lisbon. Look, maybe it was close, maybe it wasn't, but it sort of is a little bit like Slot at Feyenoord. This is a huge step up, whether it's Amorim or Slot, and it might work. Look, I didn't know what was going to happen with Ange at Spurs, and Spurs aren't Liverpool, but I didn't know it was going to go that well. And it could just work. He might walk into that club, fit it like a glove, and straight away they do really well. But I suppose the benchmark is what's really well. With Jurgen Klopp in charge, you might have aspirations of winning a Premier League. You might have aspirations of winning a Champions League. I think that's a huge step for anybody to come in and go, yeah, we're going to compete for the title next year. And maybe they will, but I'm not sure that's realistic. And mainly because of the respect for Klopp. Like, if Klopp is one of the greatest managers in Premier League history, who has rebuilt a football club through respect, aura, and brilliance, and has also dominated in media through his personality, if Arne Slot comes from Feyenoord and does the same, well, what was Jurgen Klopp all about then? And we already know that from the previous 30 years that these Jurgen Klopp type managers that get Liverpool back relevant, they're few and far between. Many have tried and failed. So I think that would be the concern for Liverpool, is that you're losing a legend. And when you lose a legend, it's very hard to replace. Look, if you think about Messi and Ronaldo, you don't just go and buy someone from the Eredivisie who's your next Messi. And I think that's what Liverpool's big problem is. It's the unknown. What is the new standard at Liverpool? Is it next season we've got to fight for a title? Or is it next season we take fourth place? And that's always been the problem with Klopp going, because Liverpool are in a title race. They're going to be back in the Champions League next year. If Jurgen Klopp was staying, you'd say Liverpool next year will be fighting for the title and they've got a chance of winning the Champions League. With Slot in charge, are you saying you've got a chance of winning the Champions League and you're going to be fighting for the title? And that's the big question mark, isn't it? Because personally, I think that if he can get them in the top four next year and have a decent run to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, I think that's a good first year in adapting to the Premier League in year one. But it's about what's realistic, and it's about what targets are set. And that's why I think the comments are going to be very interesting. Look, I've done it with Poch. I've done it with other managers. I said with Emery, I didn't think he was going to be a good fit for Villa, and I was completely wrong. I've said with Poch, I think he ultimately will get them top four at some point, but he'll never win them the league. And Chelsea are a team that likes to win the league. With Slot at Liverpool, I think Ange has changed the game. I think you can go into a club and, over-exceed. But as a prediction, look, I still think there's a possibility that Klopp comes back to Liverpool in 2 years' time after a rest and takes it back on. I do. I might be way off there, but I do. I also think he might be the Barcelona manager in a year, and that's why they've kept Xavi. But Liverpool are stepping into a new world. Man United did it after Sir Alex Ferguson, and we've never recovered. So I don't think Liverpool will make the same mistakes. I think the team is younger, it's more productive, it's got a better future. But with the Man City in the world, I think Jurgen Klopp, his legacy is that somehow he stressed Pep out when Pep had all the gear. I don't know whether you can expect that with Slot. I can see Liverpool being a team that certainly can finish second, third and fourth. I don't think they can win titles for the next 2 or 3 years. And if he does, that would be amazing. Get your comments in. Smash a like on the video. I'll speak to you on the next one.